Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast. So, same as always, games, movies, TV, something from the week. So, yeah, there we go. That's kind of that, really. If you're watching us on YouTube, big thank you. If you're a YouTube subscriber, bigger thank you. And if you've shared one of our videos, huge thank you. If you just like to listen, then that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. If you're listening to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, or anywhere else, then please do like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And that lets us know that you love us, because love's important. So here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Hello, how's it going? So, a little bit different today, and by a little bit different I mean short version is you might have to turn this one up a little bit. I'm seeing good lines here, so that might not be the case. I'm naturally talking a little quieter. I'm also in a different surrounding, and I am using different equipment to record this podcast. A lot of stuff there that's different. And as we all know, different means bad. Tell you what doesn't mean bad. This non-alcoholic beer I'm drinking. In a vacuum mug. Keeps that bad boy super chilled. Honestly, if I could do a paid promotion for them, I absolutely would do. Wink, wink. So, you know it's going to be a good podcast when you are like, yeah, I might just have a little sleep. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Oh no, I need to do this podcast. You know it's going to be a good one. A part of me wonders if I'm like, I don't want to be dramatic, but I wonder if I'm dying. I mean, you know, we're all dying. But, I mean, I wonder if my death is a little more imminent. I feel, if I didn't know better, I'd say that I'd had my vaccination done this afternoon. I have a dead arm for no apparent reason. I am beyond tired. And about 2 hours ago, I did a workout that I'm sure at a certain point might have nearly killed me. Monday, man. Monday workout is a brutal thing. It's, yeah, I think it might have been designed to kill me. I had a day today. Holy shit balls! I had a day today. Oh man. Anyway, we'll talk about my day in a bit. You know, it's one of those things. I'm happy to listen to you talk about your day if you want to. Drop me a line. Jump on the podcast one week and we'll talk about your day. But until that happens, right now we're going to talk about my day. And strangely enough, first topic of conversation is podcasts. This happens every now and then. I talk about something podcast related. In question, we're going to talk about, I had the most monstrous backlog for podcasts. Like, you know it's good when you're like, oh, this is a podcast from Christmas. last year, and I don't mean like, well, Christmas happens at the end of the year. I mean like 2 years ago, 2019. Is that right? Yeah, 2019 Christmas. So, yeah, you're doing well when your backlog has stuff like that in it. Unfortunately, the virus has it's given the podcast market a swift kicking. I think everybody's feeling it for one reason or another. Some of the podcasts I've been listening to, shit, man. Yeah, it's like you really don't have anything to do a podcast. So I had this like monstrous backlog, and I just wasn't getting through them. I wasn't, I'm on the phone to my brother-in-law when I'm running. I'm on FaceTime to my brother-in-law when I'm working out. My podcast listening, which was already super poor, took a huge backstep. So I was like, right, when I am listening to them, I need to find a way to get through them quicker. Especially with the ones that are a little less than what they were, shall we say. So, I remembered back a while ago listening to a podcast where somebody was talking about they listen to podcasts at 2 times speed and how they felt that it made them more productive. And I was like, that's interesting. I'm not going to say which podcast it was that I was listening to at the time, but what I will say was, for a podcast that was listed as probably my favourite at one point in time, they were not doing well because of the virus, and the podcast content they were putting out was not amazing, shall we say? So I was like, this is a prime example of a time where I could give something a try. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it. So I put the podcast in question into 2 times speed. Few things came out of this. Number one, it worked. I got through the backlog of those podcasts, which I was pleased by the fact that means I don't have to listen to those anymore. The thing that I found the weirdest was if ever for whatever reason I turned it off 2 times speed, twice the speed, how weirdly, like, unnaturally slow normal speed talking was. Like, man, taking a while to get through those words, aren't you? If, like me, you wanted to give it a go, you could try it now. So on your old podcast device, put me into 2 times speed. Listen for 30 seconds, a couple of minutes, whatever, and then put me back into normal speed, and see how far you can get before you're like, this is painful. So slow. So slow. Yes, I've been getting through the backlog. It does mean that I'm now back on with what I'm going to have to admit this. It probably took the top spot at some point and has kind of stayed there. I am currently listening to my immense backlog of 2 Bears, 1 Cave. I don't know how many times I will say this in my life, but really not a podcast to listen to whilst working out. I am sure that as a podcast, they've nearly killed me multiple. It's not even like once, twice, 3 times a lady. Not even that sort of situation. We're talking like probably in the 20, 30 times. You lift the bar, you push up, and they say something that is hysterical, and you're like, I'm going to die. Because I'm about to laugh, holding a lot of weight. Well, I say a lot of weight. Some weight. So, yes, I'm on that. Unfortunately, because I'm so far behind, they start talking about stuff, and I'm like, I've heard this, because there was like that, you know, the famous video clip of this bit of this episode. But I've then come across that episode organically. It's like, I'm really, really far behind. So, yeah. Are you still listening to me in 2-speed? Seriously, try it. Put me in 2-speed. And then drop me down to normal speed. Mental health update. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well at all. I'm doing better. I can confirm I am doing better. And I think I said this at the end of last week's episode, podcast, whatever you want to call it. I did feel like I was moving out of the dark time that was. But yeah, I've had 2 days where, for want of a better way of putting it, I basically had the shit kicked out of me. Like, mentally. But to the point that it's physical. Like, say, I've got this whole dead arm thing going on. No idea what's going on there. Literally no idea what's going on there. It hurts a lot. But yeah. I feel like the ball in a pinball machine at the moment. Yeah. Like I say, do feel like I'm coming out of the actual depression. Days like today, nights like last night don't help that situation. But hey, you know. So, there's a mental health update for you. Here's something. I have always considered myself to have a particularly poor memory. I make a lot of notes, reminders. I have to write things down. I have always considered myself to have a bad memory. If you then add to that a lifetime, not a full lifetime, but certainly a long time of hardcore drug use. Yeah, I think, you know, I'm lucky if I can remember my own name at times. So, and I think I can chart where this is coming from, but certainly the last week, if not, you know, bordering on a couple of weeks, my memory has been awful. Like, I can happily say the worst it's ever been. And I think that's largely to do with being tired. But it's also a very scary thing. You think about, like, you know, X number of illnesses. Let's face it, we're talking about, you know, Alzheimer's. I feel like this is like some kind of window into a disease. Because I can literally walk one room to another. No idea what I'm doing. I can then go back into the first room and be like, why did I come in here? And the reason I went in there was to try and remember why I'd gone in the other room in the first place. Confused yet? I can be having a conversation, trying to tell somebody something and being like, what was I saying? Honestly, it's the worst. I've had to say to the children, right, if you ask me to do something and you've waited X amount of time and it looks very much like I'm not doing it, you will have to remind me, because there is a really high chance I've forgotten. Like, you know, when somebody asks for juice and then 15 minutes later they're like, can I have some juice then? I'm like, oh yeah, I was getting you some juice. No idea what I've been doing all this time. It's quite scary, I'm not going to lie. And yeah, I need a good night's sleep. I need to sit down, I lie down. I need 2 minutes to myself where I'm not doing something. I don't feel those things to be very forthcoming anytime soon. So I'm a bit like, you know, how do I get around this one? Oh, that is nice. Yeah, concerning. Took 2 of the 3 girls to Diggerland today. Anybody who is a long time listener will know that a couple of years ago, at this time a couple of years ago, we as a family went to Diggerland. It was this huge thing, huge event. Now that we can get back out in the world, things are open and you're able to go and do stuff again. It's like, oh, everybody loved Diggerland, let's go there. Because of dog and other such reasons, and not everybody could go. Youngest went off to nursery. Leia stayed here with the dog. And me and the other 2 girls went to Diggerland. Not gonna lie, didn't feel it got the reaction that I was hoping for. I was just having this conversation with Leanne where I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, they thought it was okay, but it was very much oh, we're at Diggerland, are we? Okay, cool. I'm probably playing that down. I do seem to think, you know, there was excitement when we got out of the car. But having been before, when we went the first time, the excitement was just through the roof. So I don't think you're ever going to recapture that. So, hey. My day featured a mysterious... And I do mean that in every way, shape or form, you know, as you could possibly mean, mysterious, vomiting incident, where there was vomit. Nobody knew where vomit came from. There was that was fun. There was a personal favourite of mine, having cleaned up said vomit, going to the toilets to do more of a clean-up, going from the toilets all the way out of the park, I suppose you call it, to the car to drop off the lunch bag, then walking the entire length of the park to get to, there's like the second to last ride, to get in the queue, to hear, Daddy, I need the toilet. I can't remember which comedian it was. No, maybe it was Tom Segura, and I think I'm paraphrasing this, but I think it falls. Anyway, whatever. have you ever experienced it where somebody has to Control-Alt-Delete their brain before they can deal with something that's been said? That was me at that point in time. What else did we have? The classic eating 2/3 of an ice cream and deciding, I don't like this ice cream. No? The 2/3 that you ate were not... No? Okay. It was salvageable, which is what I like. The ability to be able to salvage. Spending a lot of money on drinks. To have one of the two drinks basically just poured on the floor. I'm making it sound like it was a bad time. It was enjoyable enough, you know. The girls got to go on rides and drive vehicles, and we had a nice lunch until, you know, the sick. Something that I was super impressed with